back, friends. Heading up over Route 142 between Franconia and Bethlehem, heading to my old stomping grounds. Gotta tell you the story of when I ran over a dog. This is a sad story. He lived. Still had all his teeth, too. Trust me. Yeah, I ran over a dog. So the way the story goes, give you a clue, this happened about 51 years ago. When I was a kid, I had a Huffy Stingray bicycle. Man, it was the coolest thing. High-rise handlebars, 5-speed stick shift, banana seat, and a sissy bar. Man, that thing was like a freaking Harley to a 10-year-old. It was a cool bike, and I could get that thing flying. Got a couple stories about that bike. In fact, it's a miracle I survived. Your old dad had to bend it back in shape a couple times for me, but anyways, we'll start with the story of the dog. So anyways, one of the main drags in town was Mount Agassiz. We only had like two of them, Main Street and Agassiz Street. And this here's Agassiz Street. And as you can see, it's got a hill on it. Now, I'm sure the camera isn't doing this thing justice, but let me tell you, when you were a kid on a bicycle, you felt like you could break the sound barrier coming down this thing. Yeah, and most of us in town tried it at least one time or another. One or two death wobbles and kids would go find someplace else to ride. But yeah, I was coming down this hill, hell bent for election, because I was actually running a little bit late to get home for dinner. And you know, in those days, if you weren't home in time for dinner, you didn't get any. You know, I'm flying along down here, and God, I'm just flying. I swear to God, there's smoke coming off the tires. I'm feeling good. Just can't get going much faster than I'm going. Even kind of coasting through this stretch a little bit because I couldn't pedal fast enough to keep up. And just as I come over this little rise here, right about here, I look, these trees weren't there, but I see this dog come terracing across this yard, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna. And he did. And right about here, he ran right out in front of me. And I wasn't grabbing brake at the speed I was going. I ran that little son of a bitch right over. I grabbed all the brake I could after that and stopped, checked on the dog, and look, and here he comes. He's coming after me. He's all freaking teeth. So, yeah, he survived, but yeah, ran over a dog with my bicycle. Crazy thing. Well, the stories of my old bicycle. Here's the town pool. Still open. We used to come up here and swim and whatnot. And then when I'd get rid of the diving boards, when I'd head home, you could get some good speed going down this little hill. And I had myself a little racetrack set up. And he'd come into this corner and just lay that bicycle right over. About go up on the lawn here, stand up on the pedals, and just go full tilt across this little street here. Long little racetrack. I used to time myself, see how fast I could go. Get home. It's about 1.5 miles or so, and but yeah, come flying up and ignore this stop sign right here. And just lay it right over, and then lay it right back over from this for this corner. And after a heavy rainstorm, there'd be nothing but sand across that right there. So about 5 times I low-sided that bike and just went sliding across. One time I actually hit the stone wall and it flipped me up over the top of the bike, and I'm out rolling across a frickin' fairway. And There's this poor guy, about 65 or so, standing there waiting to hit his next shot, and here comes this idiot on a bicycle rolling in front of him. I figured I'd get in trouble for being that stupid, so I grabbed the bike and jumped on it and ran it. Rode home as fast as I could all the way down here. Blood coming out of my knees and elbows and whatnot. Yeah, the handlebars were freaking crooked. That was one of the times dear old Dad had to bend it back into shape because I hit that stone wall pretty good. Yeah, stories about that golf course too. I used to play golf there when I started when I was 10. Great times. But this right here, you can see that's the last street light, even back then. And I could get terracing down this hill. I could get it. I had a speedometer on it. I could get it up to 52. One day, dear old Dad, he was a truck driver, and just before the top of the hill, he passes me and honks the horn, kind of waves at me, laughing because he's going to beat me home. And I was like, you son of a bitch. And I got up on the pedals, and I got that bicycle just a freaking flying. And right about here, I was even with this trailer passing him on the outside. There used to be a little one-lane bridge here. You can see the stream. And I was about 5 car lengths in front of him going over that little bridge. And of course, I'd lose all my speed coming up these hills, and he passed me again right about here. But I was thinking I was king shit. I just passed Dad. He's going to be laughing. So anyways, by the time I hoof it up over those hills, take this left right here, we're now on Cherry Valley Road. And I come up, and there's dear old Dad. He had the truck parked up out in the field out there. Everybody's standing right on the corner of that driveway right there. He's saying, you take that bicycle and you put it in the basement and you don't ride it for a month, you idiot. Oh, I thought he damn near killed me. Oh, was he mad? Oh, Lord, was he mad. So, yeah, I lost use of my bicycle for a month. And when you live 1.5 miles out of town, it takes a mite longer to walk it than it does to ride it. But I had a summer job at the golf course. But, yeah, that's the house I grew up in. Bar 'tis. It's changed a bit. They've taken out some trees. Some other trees have grown. We used to have an apple orchard. That's all grown over. Springtime, I'd hit golf balls down here to get practiced up. Well, you can probably just barely see it. That's Mount Agassiz. We just came over through the gap there. You might see a clearing there. That used to be the ski slope, the rope tow. Then we had night skiing, and if the lights came on, by God, my sister and I had to be up there. 15 below, who cares? We're going skiing. Mom was so thrilled because that meant she got to take us up there and drop us off and come back and pick us up. But yeah, God, I must have put 2,000 miles on over the years up and down this little road here. All this stuff with the signs, it's never here. Over on the left is where the town dump used to be, town forest now, but yeah, used to have to take our garbage to the dump there. Which leads to another funny story and relates to the fact that I pointed out the last street light. There's a couple summers I worked nights washing dishes at a little Italian restaurant up in town, and this guy would send me home with a couple loaves of bread every night. And you know, I didn't have anything to carry him on, so I was riding one-handed in the dark down this hill on clear nights. It wasn't bad. You could see the road. cloudy nights, you're looking up and you're trying to center yourself between the trees, not looking at the road at all. Was I smart enough to slow down? Oh, hell no. The funny story was, one morning I went terracing down that hill and 2 loaves of nice fresh Italian bread under my arm, and boy did it smell good. They were still warm, for God's sakes. And I went around that corner that I passed my dad on, and luckily it was a bright moon that night, because I saw the 3 bears that were standing in the road, and about the time I saw them, they saw me, and I slammed on the brakes, and you see their noses start going because they could smell the frickin' bread. So I threw the bread at them and turned around and went back up that hill just as fast as I possibly could. And of course, this is way back in the cell phones. Hell, I was lucky if I had a dime in my pocket for a payphone. Of course, Bethlehem, small town, they'd roll the sidewalks up at 8 o'clock. But yeah, I went back and sat at the top of that hill for a while and kept an eye out for bears. But finally a car came through, and he went through, and I figured that probably scared the bears off. So I went back down the hill with a little bit of care, and around that corner, sure enough, the bread was gone. No bears in sight, and I went back up those hills. I went through there just as fast as I possibly could. So, yep, lots of little stories about that bicycle and that little hill right there.